This is Naomi Ackerman, coming to you from the Advot office in Los Angeles, California. Advot is a local nonprofit that uses the arts to empower youth to find their voice. With Advot, I have spent almost 2 decades working inside the walls of the Los Angeles juvenile lockup facilities, or Juvie, as we call it in slang. When I started this work, I drove to a juvenile lockup facility every Thursday. I would teach what we call the ripple process. The ripple process is the foundation of Advot's lessons. We use the art to teach healthy communication skills and show our youth how to create a positive ripple effect in their life. Today, Advot teaches over a dozen classes at multiple sites throughout LA County. I have had the privilege of meeting the most extraordinary youth inside the walls. Thursdays in Juvie tells the story of where it started and where they are now. First, I'll share a story about my experience teaching at the lockup facility where it all began. Then, we'll hear from a former Advot student or someone who was system impacted and has turned their life around in an inspiring way. I invite you to grab a coffee or a tea, take a walk, and listen. Listen to the voices of these beautiful young people. I am so happy you chose to join us today to experience the power of love, redemption, and change. This is Thursdays in Juvie, and now the show. Years ago, I drove to Camp David Gonzalez, a juvenile detention lockup facility, and proposed a theater program to empower youth to find their voice. Theater with gangbangers, they asked? Yep, I said. Puppets, masks, and art with these kids? Are you sure, miss? Absolutely, I replied, nervous but determined. These are rough, tough gangbangers, not Hollywood theater kids, they warned me. I know, I said. I got this. They were very skeptical. Aren't you afraid? They asked me. And out of nowhere, I said, it's okay. I grew up in the Middle East. I got this. They shrugged and said, okay. They were sure I would fail. But the youth rose up to the occasion, and I proved them wrong. My life was forever changed. Theater has the power to create change. It's immediate, fun, and transformative. Every day we give our participants tools to change their lives, and they do. Anyone who doubts change is possible should meet our alumni and the incredible youth we serve. Augusto Boal, whose work inspires me, said that empathy is the most powerful weapon. May we all be blessed with many, many of those weapons. Plans. I like making plans. They make me feel safe. When I was little, I was told that upon being picked up from preschool, I would always ask my mom, so, what's the plan? I like writing down my long-term plans. Kind of funny because I'm not always diligent about keeping the plan. I think for me, it's simply more about making the plan. Today, I had a plan. I wanted to step out of my own comfort zone, and I wanted to create a song with the girls a cappella. I chose a song, actually my children chose it, and we listened to it over and over. I spoke to my niece, who's an a cappella maven. I printed out the words. I practiced with my 3 girls at home. I was excited and a little nervous. I like to sing. I'm pretty good at it, but really, I'm a theater person more than anything. Teaching a cappella? Well, we'll see how that goes. My Juvie girls could not have been less interested. This is a group that can sing. They like to sing, but alas, they did not like the song that I picked. They thought that the a cappella arrangement that I had them listen to was just not fucking right. One explained to me, Miss, I don't do that music. It's shit. I made them sing anyway. I mean, come on. I had a plan. They were so not interested. They had a very different plan. I have a new probation officer who sits in my class. It was incredibly refreshing to have someone on my side. She was suggesting songs, pulling them up on her phone. The girls proceeded to tell us what songs they wanted to sing. Not one of those songs was appropriate. My plan was not only not working, it was demolished and burned before I had even had a chance. In this group, there was one particular girl who's been trouble from the start. She's different than the rest. She's educated, she's smart, she's extremely cynical. She has an attitude that can and was killing me. She acts and sits in class as if she's suffering. She comments and seems not to want to be there. Several times I've been close to asking her to leave. I have no idea if she'll participate in the show. She refuses to dance. She refuses to read. She rolls her eyes at me and has been rude and disrespectful. I will never kick a kid out of the group, but this is the first time that I really, really want to. I ain't singing, she said. This is fucking stupid. And she rolls her eyes. Don't roll your eyes at me. It came out of my mouth before I could even stop it. Don't tell me what to fucking do, she says. Then all the girls start to sing the song they want to sing, and I see her joining them. Excitingly, I said, "You're singing, that's great. I ain't singing, you don't see shit." She glares at me. Oh my God, I think to myself. You know, you don't have to be here, I say. This is not a court-mandated program. Actually, I do have to be here. She glares at me again. Actually, you don't. Why don't you stay after class and we can discuss this? Because you really don't have to be here if you don't want to. Secretly, a part of me hopes that she will just leave, although I know she will not. I am not staying to talk to you about what I just said. Okay, I say. Any good teacher knows that if the lesson plan isn't going well, you need to ditch it. So I say goodbye to the song I so wanted to teach and move on. Our final presentation is in 3 weeks, ladies. People will be coming to see you. What do you want people to learn about you? What would you like people to see in our show? The difficult girl says, no one has to learn nothing about me. Everyone knows me. Really? I say. Yeah, she says. And then she proceeds to tell the group, raise your hand if you know I'm smart. They raise their hand. Raise your hand if you know I'm a bitch. They raise their hand. She continues for 3 or 4 more raise your hand sentences. See, miss, they know everything about me. Nothing to tell. I rise up to the challenge. There must be something they don't know about you, I say. Think of one thing we don't know and share it with us. It's quiet in the room. My new, truly amazing probation officer chimes in. I bet you this group doesn't know that your father is Italian. Whoa, really? Your dad's Italian? You like Italian food? All the girls start asking questions. What about your mom? Where's she from? She's dead. It gets very quiet. She died when I was 2. Well, where was she from? One says, smiling, trying to make things better. I don't fucking know. What's her name? I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know her name. I don't know what she looks like. I've never even seen a picture of her. My father hated her and her family. Silent in the room. You got money, don't you? What? You have money? I don't have money, but yeah, I got money. Well, girlfriend, go on Ancestry.com and find your mama. I don't fucking care. Why should I? She chose drugs and alcohol over me. I don't want to know about her. Besides, my sister said we're better off without her, that she was a horrible bitch. And there it was, the whole story in one sentence. My mother chose drugs and alcohol over me. I don't even want to know her name. Does my a cappella song really matter right now? Okay, she says. Here's another thing about me that you don't know. I only date black men, even though I'm light-skinned. A girl walks by her and gives her a high five. You go, girl, the other one says. You know what they say, once you go, you never go back. They all laugh. She laughs. Believe me, I won't go back, she says. There's giggling and warmth in the room. She looks at me and smiles. I breathe and I smile back. This is a group that knows pain, deep pain, but they're pushing through. I don't know what I'm going to do with this particular girl. I actually have no plan, but I do know that I'll just let her be. If she'll make it through and perform, I will actually be happy. And if she bails out, I will understand. On this one, I think I'm going to have to let the plan make itself, because sometimes plans just cannot be planned. Stay tuned for an interview with a system-impacted individual who's turned their life around in the most inspiring way. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast to receive notifications about new shows. Join the Advot Ripple. Contribute at www.advot.org. All right, welcome, Esteban. I'm so excited that you're here. We've had people on this podcast who've been out for a long time. We've had people on this podcast who are a lot older than you. And I was excited to bring you on because you're kind of new in being out, right? You're kind of figuring it out right now. And I think that your voice is really important because we're teaching people who are listening how they can support guys like you and what we need to do so that the world can be a better place for people like you. So Thursdays in Juvie is about telling stories. And can you just start with 5 minutes telling us a little bit about your story? Whatever part you want of it.
I first went to jail when I was 15. Yeah. I was moving, bouncing house to house, and I needed to make some money, so just went out and did something I shouldn't have done, and then I ended up going to jail. Mm-hmm. And then I went back 2 times after that.
How old are you now?
18.
Yeah.
Yep. I spent Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, all that, birthdays. It was whatever, though. The halls be doing too much, but once you get to campus, a lot more programs and stuff.
What are the programs that you liked when you were in the camps? What were some of the programs that you liked?
Advot, Creative Acts. What else did I do? I think that was it, really.
You did high school, which was really important.
Oh, yeah, that too. I graduated.
That's not just that, too. That's a pretty awesome thing that you graduated. Yeah. What would you say is something that you learned when you were in the camp? Something that you learned that was important?
That some of your friends will be there more than your family is.
Okay. Sometimes you have friends that can be there more than your family. That's a big lesson. I think people when they're older sometimes learn that lesson. But I think for people who are listening, sometimes the people I feel who've done programs for you have maybe helped you more than your family, which is okay. That's what some of these programs are there for. And they're not instead of your family, but they're to give you the support that maybe your family isn't capable of giving you.
Right.
And I know that you're in a tight spot right now, trying to figure out where to be and where to live. And there's a lot going on. So can you maybe instead of telling your life story, this is an exercise that I think you might have done when you were up in the camp. Can you try and sum up your life in 6 words, like a 6-word novel of your life? I'm just going to share that one of the reasons we chose Esteban is because he's a really great writer. And he's shared some really great stories about himself when he did our class.
What? Complicated, crazy, fun, resilient, fast.
Say that again. Complicated.
Crazy.
Fun.
Resilient.
And fast. I'm going to add smart.
Yeah, we can add that in there.
I think you're pretty smart. And I think that you're pretty smart to know opportunity when you see it. And you're smart to know how to seize the moment. You know, before I interview people, I read a story. And the story I read before we're having this talk is called Plans. And the story is about how we make plans and they change. And I know that you had a pretty solid plan when you got out, and you were staying in one place and staying out of trouble. And then these crazy fires happened and your plans changed very unexpectedly. And what did that feel like?
I mean, yeah, it was fast. Like, one moment I was good. I was sticking to one plan. And then everything just changed. I had to figure something else out.
What's the most challenging part about having to figure things out?
Shit. To be honest with you, part is figuring out where I'm finna sleep at on me. But I already figured it out now, but that was probably the hardest part when I first got out.
Would be finding a place. I think one of the things that people don't understand is that when you get out of lockup, one of the challenges is a place to stay, right? Like a lot of people don't understand that a lot of kids don't have a place to sleep or a place to be. And what I was impressed and kind of worried is you figuring out, and have you been able to figure that out?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
But what I was impressed also, can I tell you, Esteban, that I was inspired by how you found a job. And you also, not only did you find a job, you were like, you didn't take any job. You were like, I'm going to take that job. I'm not going to take this job. I want that job. They pay me every week. I'm not going to take that job because it doesn't pay me enough. Like, you were a hustler, dude. Tell me about that a little bit. Tell me what your expectations are for yourself.
To be honest with you, right now, I'm just trying to get into Job Corp, get my mechanic certifications, and start working on my cars and stacking my money up.
What's an obstacle that's on your way to make that happen?
Myself. I just got to change my ways for the better.
How's that going to happen?
I just got to work on myself. It's a lot of work to do.
Well, number one, thank you for accountability. What do you think? Okay, so people are listening to this, right? We don't see them, but they're listening to this.
Right.
So someone's hearing your story, and what would you tell people? How can they help someone like you? What would you be your advice to people who are listening to this? You met this guy, got out of juvenile halls. What can you do to support kids like you?
To be honest, it would have never got to this point if I had a good family support. Like, if my family support was really there when I was younger, I probably would have still been playing football right now and stuff like that. But I'm not finna blame it on my family. I got something to do with it too. But still, like, yeah, I just feel like you just gotta be surrounded with the most love and affection when you're younger. Because when you get older, you realize a lot of stuff, and yeah.
So I'm hearing, I don't know if we can ask listeners to love people, because love that's I can't.
Oh,
I'd love to tell
people.
No, I know that's not what you're saying. I totally hear what you're saying. I think people don't understand that when you don't have a supportive family and you don't have a network, how difficult it is. And I'm watching you, and one of the reasons why I wanted you to come on here is so that people hear that the struggle is real.
Right.
And if we as a society don't create systems that will take in someone like you have a plan.
Right.
I love that you have a plan. I will bring my car to you when you finally are taking care of cars. I'm down. But for you to get there, there's a lot of systems that need to change and support you so that can happen.
Right.
And what I want people who are listening to understand that it's on us to create those systems for people like you, right? You talk to me a little bit about the programs. You talked about the programs that you did when you were locked up. Can you talk to me a little bit about the programs? It doesn't have to be just Advot. Just What did those programs do that you found interesting?
The Advot, it was a really cool program. I mean, at first, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really want to do it.
Don't ever lie. Only be honest.
I didn't really want to do the program. And it was really just like something to do to get out the dorm. Because, like, it'd be boring in camp. And I was a graduate, so I would just be sitting there all day. But nah, so I'll go to Advot, and then we'll start acting and making jokes and laughing and stuff with Sara and Jarvis and all the homies. Yeah, so it'll just be something fun just to get out the dorm real quick and, like, try some new things. And kind of get out the environment in the dorm. It'd be toxic as hell up in there.
Well, you did really good in the play. Did you like being in the play?
I was nervous. We all was nervous. It was funny. And then my grandma pulled up. I was like, oh, God.
Did you like doing it for your grandma?
Yeah, it was cool. Well, definitely. It was good to have her see me doing better than I was doing before.
Mm-hmm. You know, our tagline is "Your voice is your power." What do you think, who helped you find your voice?
I'll probably say myself, I'm not gonna lie.
I never want you to lie. I only want you to say the truth.
That's just something I say. But, yeah, I'll probably say myself. All the stuff I've been through. Yeah, helped me find my voice.
I think the things that you've been through have made you super resilient.
Right.
What would you say, if we say your voice is your power, what do you think your power is?
What do you mean by that?
Like, what do you think is what do you think, what do you think are the good things about you, the things that give you strength?
I don't know. One thing about me is if I need something, I'm gonna make sure I get it.
I would agree with that.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm just, like, very outgoing and, goal-oriented and resilient. Like, when I need to do something, it don't matter what's in my way, I'm going to get it done.
I like how you're a go-getter. I like how when you want something, you go after it and you do what needs to be done. And I think that that's a really important message for people. Right. That if you want, and this is not just for people coming out of juvenile halls. This is for anybody. If you want something, there's only one person who can get it for you, and that's you, right?
Yep.
Like if you wanted to give a message to people who are listening to this podcast about change, because you're like in the middle of your change right now. You're not just there yet, which I thought was interesting to bring you on. Mm-hmm. What would be something you want people to know about change that are listening to this podcast?
That anybody could do it. Like, it don't matter how long you've been doing something, you can always change. It's just really up to you. You can't help somebody who don't want to be helped, and if you don't want to receive help, you can't really change. Like, you can't really do it on your own either.
I agree. And I want to say also, I want to talk a little bit about what I saw you do in that show, in that play. And I'm sorry that people can't see how you're smiling. But so Esteban, I think, was a football player. Were you a football player once upon a time? So it's a big guy. And you did a great monologue and you acted. Talk about that a little bit. Was that hard for you? Was that weird?
Yeah, it was kind of weird because, like, once we started doing it, all the homies just started laughing at us. So, like, yeah, it was kind of hard to, like, keep it serious and remember our lines and stuff. And even though we had the paper, we still messed up. So, like, everybody just started laughing at us and making faces and stuff. It was hard to stay serious.
Well, I want to say that Esteban got a standing ovation. He read a really cool monologue. What was it about? You did, like, in the end, you ended it with something about...
that, like, no matter where you come from, like, you feel me, you can still be something in life.
I hope that you hear those words about yourself also. Because I think there's a lot of potential of who you can be and what you can be. And what I want people to hear is that, and really we've heard this in more than one podcast, is that we need to support people with you so that you can focus on what's important and not focus on needing to find a place to sleep or where you're going to get the next meal from. Because if you don't, you talked about your family, but if you don't have the basic things, it's really hard to do the other things.
Right.
So I'm impressed at how hard you're trying to make that happen. And I'm also, I loved, the fires were really a bummer. That's like a silly thing to say. That's a stupid thing to say, but they were horrible. But before the fires, what I loved, and I want to commend you about, that you made a choice to go somewhere that would keep you out of trouble.
Right.
I don't know if right now you're in a place that keeps you out of trouble, but
I am.
Good. Your original choice was to go somewhere because you have goals. And what I'm learning from you, and what I hope that people learn from you, is that when you see something, to go after it. Because I think that's one of your strongest things, that you know what you want and you're going after it. You had the opportunity to get the laptop. You came and you got it. So I hope that you continue to seize the moment and seize the opportunity and never stop doing that, even if the things around you are a little bit hard. Do you ever think of being an actor? Because we're kind of like looking at you as being an actor.
I don't know, man. I'm not going to lie. I don't know about being an actor. I could probably write like scripts and stuff. I don't think I'd be an actor.
Well, you are a very good writer.
Right.
You're not like giving us many words right now, but we know that you're a very good actor that you're a very good writer, that you write really great stuff.
Right.
And I can share with the people listening that after they did the show, there was like a desire to see the show again. And at the camp, the director of the camp was like, let's do it again. And Advot and me and the facilitators like, let's do it again. And the guys were like, absolutely not. We do not want to do this again. You guys were like, we are not doing this again.
Yeah.
Even though we brought their families and the grandparents and everybody to see it, and everyone was so proud of you.
It was embarrassing.
Even though you got a standing ovation, what was embarrassing about it?
They was counting us for like weeks. Like, y'all doing a play? Like, ugh. Like, they was just counting on us. It was funny though. Everybody was just laughing and stuff. We had a good time, though.
I believe that when you step out of your comfort zone, that's a place of growing. And I am excited that we're going to actually feature you at another event that we have, and that you're going to read something, because we believe that your voice is really important and we want it to be heard. And we're just happy that you're pursuing things that you want to have happen. Is there something that you would want to say to people that are listening about youth that are in the halls or in the camps?
First and foremost, free them guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't really got nothing to say. It's just that jail stuff is not it. I had to learn that the hard way.
So if jail stuff is not it, what do you think is it? What do you think could be an alternative for someone like you? What would have helped you?
I should have stuck to sports, I'm not going to lie. If I really focused on that, I'd probably be doing that right now. But, yeah, I just feel like sports and other things that keep you out of, like,
trouble,
the streets and out of trouble, that take your attention.
So we need community centers, sports.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Who do you think you would have listened to? Who would have helped you stay out of trouble?
Now, low-key, my grandpa. Probably if I would have stayed with him, I probably would have been straight.
Okay.
Oh, man.
So maybe one of the things that you need to do is is your grandfather still alive?
Nah, he passed away. Oh, man.
Did you have a good relationship with him?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
What is something that he taught you?
Dang, that's a hard one. It's a lot of stuff that he taught me.
Choose the top two.
Dang, I could probably say he used to tell me don't do nothing half-ass. And,
okay.
What's it called? What else he used to tell me? I don't know. That's probably the main thing. You don't do nothing half-ass. Like, if you finna do something, like, do it the right way the first time. Me. And always do a little extra, too.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Because you never know, like, you feel me?
Yeah. I love that. So don't...
watching what you doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, though.
Well, I can tell you that I think your grandfather is a little bit in you because I've seen you do a little bit extra in the things that you do. In that play, you guys did the lines. And then guess who did an extra monologue at the end? Mr. Esteban over here. There was like an extra piece that you did at the end. That's why we chose you. You're like making a face you don't even remember. I remember. We were like, where's that guy who did that extra monologue at the end? So I know that your grandfather passed, but I think he's still in you. And in this time right now that's kind of scary or maybe just not clear, you know what to do. And you have your grandfather inside you kind of guiding you.
Most definitely.
And where you are right now is temporary and you're going to find your spot if you kind of stay in that lane of pursuing that dream that you want to get to.
Right.
And we believe in you and we're excited for you. And really grateful that you came today so that we could talk to you.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, thank you for being with us today. We appreciate you.
Most definitely.
Thank you. Thank you for choosing Thursdays in Juvie with Naomi Ackerman in partnership with Advot. We know that you have many choices to listen to, and we appreciate you giving us your time today. Time is precious, so we must pay attention to people who serve time. We hope that hearing these stories will help you see the youth Advot works with as the amazing humans they are, and not just case numbers. Did you enjoy the podcast? If so, please share it with your family, your friends, and colleagues. To learn more about Advot or to make a contribution, visit www.advot.org. Special thanks to the Boyle Heights Arts Conservatory for their support in producing this season of Thursdays in Juvie. We hope you'll join us again because the more we listen, the better we understand. And the better we understand, the more compassion we have. Compassion changes the world. Listening is the first step in gratitude.